In today's video, I want to talk to you about PersonalizeWP. You can find it at personalizewp.com. You can install a free version, which we're going to cover in the first half of the video. Then we're going to take a look at some of the pro features and give you my feedback onto why you should use this, especially if you're an agency or a freelancer who's servicing clients and you're trying to find that edge in your consultation. So you're going, beyond the design and development practices and getting into the more marketing and copywriting and maybe even some feature functions like membership sites and e-commerce and selling subscriptions and so on. PersonalizedWP can do a lot. The free version starts at a very lightweight sort of feature set, and then it gets much further once you get into the pro version. This is a sponsored video. They did pay me to make this video, but all of the thoughts and feedback are solely my own. They don't have a final say in what goes out in this video. Though I do really feel that PersonalizedWP can be very valuable to your WordPress website building toolkit. Let's dive into PersonalizedWP, and I share my thoughts on using it on your WordPress site. Okay, I just want to take a moment to compare and contrast PersonalizedWP, especially the free version. That's what I have activated here. You just search for it in your plugin dashboard, install, activate. It walks you through an onboarding wizard. It's quite straightforward, and it presents you to this screen. And this is where paths can sort of diverge when you look at this plugin versus something like the popular block visibility plugin, which is a plugin that I know and love to use when I'm building WordPress websites. And that's the catch. Building WordPress websites versus PersonalizedWP, which is much more for, let's say, the business / marketer / publisher oriented person. And it's pretty clear when you click on personalization, you are presented with this screen, which is rules and categories. And this is the much more broader thinking perspective that PersonalizedWP brings versus something like block visibility. Block visibility, if you're familiar with it, has all of these certain conditions that you can display, hide, show blocks on a per block basis. So as you're building your site, you can punch into it and say, hey, I'm only going to hide this block when it loads up on mobile device. Whereas PersonalizedWP is setting these rules as more like global conditions because you're much more of a business or a publisher mindset. So you want these things to load. Well, if we look at these rules right here, 1 minute spent on page, 10 seconds spent on page, time is afternoon or evening, device type is certain device types that you can set to conditions, new visitors, UK-based visitors. These are rules first because what you're thinking is, well, I'm going to make big sweeping changes across my site for very valuable actions that are happening. Sales, promotions, user login, membership site. I need to show certain content to certain regions as people load them, geolocation based. This is the biggest difference between a plugin like this versus a plugin like block visibility, which is much more on that per block basis. You're not building global rules. You're not really thinking of like big valuable content that's going to display across my website. And that's where PersonalizedWP really shines. And we're going to start to dive into using some of this stuff in a moment, but I wanted to just set it apart where you're setting these rules first and maybe even grouping them into categories for organizational purposes, but you're setting up these rules first and then applying that to the block versus building in the block, which you can still do, but you could really start with setting the rules first and then saying, okay, which blocks across my site are going to use these types of rules? Where am I promoting this content? What's the biggest impact for my website owner or me as a publisher? Okay, so we're gonna just take a look at applying some of these rules here and seeing them in action. Okay, so we find ourselves on a test page with a test announcement squarely in the center of our content. It's just a group, and I'm going to select that group, open up my settings, and what I have is a PersonalizedWP rule applied. It's called 10 seconds spent on the page, then take the following action, show block or hide block. And this is the essence of the free version of PersonalizedWP to sort of show and hide these, blocks of content based on these particular rules. And I can add more rules by clicking on the plus button, but I'm only going to focus on this 10 seconds spent on the page. We're going to see that in action right now. So if I save this, view the page, give it a second, or literally 10, and then it'll appear right here in the middle of our content, just waiting for it to show up and biding some time as I wait for this block to appear. And there it is. There's the announcement. That was 10 seconds loaded on the page. And you could see that if you were doing some kind of sale, some kind of promotion in your content, like a newsletter sign up, or click here to get a coupon code. Personalized WP makes it super easy. And it's very straightforward. There's not a lot of thinking to this stuff. And I think that's one of the great things about Personalized WP. One of the things I would like to see, though, is some form of indication in either my block list or some kind of color change, just like we see with native WordPress. Maybe when you're working with templates, like template parts are purple, but other plugins that feature certain things with blocks will change the color to indicate that this personalized WP has been applied. So maybe a different color here, maybe a little personalized WP logo appears after the block name, something that indicates when I'm looking at a page, especially if it's a very complex landing page, shows me that, oh, this block has personalized WP applied to it, versus me having to go and click into that block knowing that this is something that has been applied. I could rename it, my block, for instance, and say promo block personalized WP. That would be one way to sort of document that this has been applied to the page, but I'd like something more native out of the box with personalized WP. Okay, in the back half of the video, let's talk about Personalized WP Pro. 2 plans, Pro, $199 for 1 site. Agency Pro, $499, 5 sites. That's per year, about $100 a site when you upgrade to that Agency Pro. And if you're working in an agency and you're working with your clients as partners to increase their digital sales, signups, publishing prowess, this is a fantastic price. It's $100 a site. I think you're going to make your money back 10x at least when you're working with clients. There's 2 particular things that I want to focus in on, 2 particular features that I want to focus in on that are the sort of brightest aha moments for me, and especially in the way that I think when I'm optimizing content and trying to upsell and get customers to buy more stuff from me. It's segmentation and lead scoring, and these 2 things here are really what makes that personalized WP so much different than something like I was referring to before, like Block Visibility plugin, which is much more of a developer tool. Let's go into the back end of the site. We're going to look at this visitor profile screen, and this unlocks once you install and activate Personalized WP Pro. You can see a bunch of anonymous traffic here, and then you'll see Matt Medeiros, that's me, with a lead score of 31, including my email. So when we view this, we'll see a bunch of information. This information is either going to get piped in from different actions from your site. And in my case, I'm using Gravity Forms for a contact form. In Gravity Forms, once I submit a form, it's saying, or Personalized WP is saying, oh, we've identified that user. They've inputted a contact form, which is Gravity Forms in this case. We put in the first name and the email address that we captured from that form. And now we can track all of the actions that user is taking on your site, and we can assign them a particular score to those actions. And you can see here that up at the top, I have a lead score of 31. I've done a bunch of things while testing, like inputting a form or submitting a form, which has given me different levels of that lead score, which have added up to 31. And then it tags you by segments, or you're creating segments out of this information. So now what you're able to do is create personalized experiences on the site based on segment. So if I'm submitting a bunch of forms, I'm logging in and out, I'm purchasing things, likely my lead score will increase, and then I can show you different things on my website to prompt you to do other things. So whether that's buy something else, add something else, refer someone, sky's the limit on what you want to do with your lead scoring. Speaking of lead scoring, let's go into the lead scoring screen, and you can see here, I've created just one. It's called contact form. If I edit it, I just call it contact form. The type is submitted a form. The condition is matching any of these. I can search for my Gravity form, which I did here, simple contact form, and then I give it a score value of 5. Basically, you're in control to say, I want to create these lead scores, and I can assign the weight of that value any way that I see fit. So if this is just a simple contact form, maybe they get a lead score of 5 like I have here. Maybe you actually have a purchase form. Well, you give them a 10 because they've purchased from you and you know that they're like the most interested, or a newsletter sign up form gets a little bit higher, somewhere in the middle, and you can sort of bump that value up. The idea is you're building out all of these lead scoring rules to create segments. And if I go into a segment that I made called sales leads, I can edit this. What I've said here is in the segment category, which is based on just a lead score, I want to say that the minimum score to qualify to become a sales lead is 33 in this case. And these segments are what you assign to the blocks to show or hide that particular content. So let's go to look at a home page. Whoops, wrong one. Go visit page. We're going to refresh this page, edit this page. And you can see up top, we have this, welcome back, are you ready to purchase? This is just a super dumbed down call to action. It really doesn't make anybody do anything, but it's there. And what we can do with Personalized WP Pro now is we still have the same rules that we had before. We can choose one of the segments that we had, or we can just say, you know what? At the end of the day, the minimum lead score that I want to show here is 35, right? Now, remember my lead score, I believe, was 33. So we're going to hit 35. We'll save it. We'll view the site. Now that message is no longer there. Now what we'll do is we'll go to my contact form, where every time I submit a contact form, I get another 5 points added to my lead score. So let's go ahead and put in the information. We submit this form. Theoretically, in the back end, Personalized WP has said, oh, Matt has submitted another form. We're giving him 5 points to that that lead score. And now that prompt in the front page should be there when we reload the site. So if we go to Matt's staging site, refresh the page, there it is. Welcome back. Are you ready to purchase? So it's identified, hey, the user's here. The lead just went up. The score just went up. Now we can serve that person up a personalized piece of content. Now, this is just a super stripped down version in order of time, but you could wrap that in your newsletter sign up, your sales upgrade, whatever it is. Go back to the dashboard, Personalized WP, profiles. Now you can see I'm at a 36. If we click view, you can see my lead score went up to a 36. And here are those page visits. When I went to the contact page, I submitted that Gravity Forms. That's where I got 5 points. And then I refreshed the homepage to review that message up top. So very powerful stuff. Again, this is just very tip of the iceberg kind of things with Personalized WP. Again, sky's the limit if you're setting up your own segments and lead scoring. You have to be creative. You have to think about the path that you're looking to take with your content. So, what are those major call to actions? What are those upsells? When is it most valuable to you to prompt a user to do something else? You have to critically think about that before you go into Personalized WP. They have some starter points. On the Pro plan, it would be nice to have some pre-packaged segments or prompting that says, here's how you should be thinking about segments and lead scoring throughout your site. Maybe identifying a bunch of forms that you already have installed and say, hey, look, we've identified this is a sales form, this is a donation form. Here's how you should be thinking about that. I mean, it's, some pretty hopeful stuff. But I think it's something that Personalized WP can move to in the future for sure. Just one other thing I want to show you. We'll go back to our test page. And when you have the Pro version installed, there are just a couple other features that are unlocked, which are password, user role access, or specified user access. So just these 3 additional sort of features that are unlocked on a per block basis. So if you wanted to password protect a block, you could do that if you wanted to only show it to user role or to specific user access. I think these are really good if you're running a membership site, some kind of like organization-based site where people are logging in and accessing data and information. You can really punch into those areas that allow people to have access. And I know on a membership site, having a quick password accessible block is something that a lot of folks ask for in the membership world. So these are nice little quick to have features inside Personalized WP. So that's my roundup. That's my wrap up of Personalized WP, roundup wrap up. PersonalizedWP.com. Again, they sponsored the video today, but all thoughts are my own. Free. You can do the stuff like show, hide content based on logged in, logged out, date, device. Very powerful if you're a publisher. And then once you get into the pro plan with segmentation, visitor profiles, lead scoring, this is where you can really start to amplify your online business. Or if you're a consultant helping clients out, you can really start to get into them and guide them into sort of better content marketing, better funneling, really thinking about their online website as a sales and marketing tool. $199 for one site, $499 for 5 sites. If you're an agency, Personalized WP, check it out. Thumbs up if you like today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. Questions about Personalized WP, drop them in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video.